You made a comment to me at dinner some months ago, and it stuck with me because as Debbie and I have gone now 3 times to Israel and also read subsequently the New Testament, it struck me how true this is. You said that the New Testament is just as Jewish as the Old. In other words, that the whole milieu is in that sense identical. Of course, it's a different historical period. We're talking about, basically 30 AD as opposed to, let's say, 1000 BC. But nevertheless, the Jewishness of the Old Testament doesn't disappear in the New. Rather, it continues. And all the characters, for the most part, are Jewish. I mean, obviously not counting Pontius Pilate and an occasional Roman. And maybe one of the 4 gospel writers, Luke, was a Gentile, but otherwise, it's a Jewish environment through and through. What is the importance of that?
Yes, so I think what I may have said to you is, some people would say to me, how can you, being a Jew, read the New Testament? And I'm like, how can you, being a Gentile, appreciate the New Testament? Because it is so Jewish. When you read it through the lens of the Jewish perspective, you understand much better the things that Jesus was teaching, the things that Paul was teaching, the Jewishness of it. And so this is exactly what you see. And so even the things that are so inexplicable, why would Jesus make mud out of spittle and apply it to a man's eyes, or spit in a man's ears in order to bring healing, when he, on other occasions, could just speak the word and the blind would see and the deaf would hear? And then you understand this. So, for example, when you read in the Jewish writings, it says that you should never apply mud to a person's eyes when you are bringing healing to it. You should never use saliva or spit. And that's exactly what he did. He actually did what he was told not to do with these rabbinical rules. And he showed not just his disdain, but his contempt for these things, because they were keeping people from appreciating the things of God. And so when you understand what had been written, then these sort of things make enormous sense. You understand why he was going up to the temple to do certain things, why Paul was trying to get back for the Pentateuch, this 50 days after the Passover, because you understand these different ceremonies. And this is why I've gone through it. I did a 4.5-year study on just going through the 4 Gospels, looking at it through the Jewish lens. And that's an audio study on my website, jmtour.com, and look under audio files. But it looks through the Jewish lens. And I'm not the first Jew to do that. I'm working with other scholars that have gone before me, because I'm not a scholar. I'm just a chemist. I'm just a layperson and looking at it in this way.
When I first came to America around 1980, I had $500 in my pocket. That's it. Now, if I'd been really frugal and not spent a penny of that money, what do you think it would be worth now? What could it actually buy now compared to what it could buy in 1980? Well, the answer, less than $130. Now, why is that? Because the US government, through the Fed, is constantly printing money and devaluing your money. When the government prints money, there's more money chasing the same amount of goods and services. So guess what? Money goes down in value. Money buys less. The Fed has been at it since 1913. That's why a dollar today can buy just what a few cents could buy in 1913. And the government continues to print oceans of money. It really never stops. Now, an ounce of gold reached a high of $850 in 1980. It's worth now around $3,900 an ounce. So historically, over time, we see gold has gone up and up in value. Dollars have gone down and down. And what about in the last 12 months? Gold is up over 40%. I believe now is the time to find out how you can diversify your savings with gold and silver. And this is why I've partnered with Goldco. They offer the best customer service for precious metals ownership. They are also the only gold dealer that offers a first-time gold buyer rebate of up to 10% in bonus silver on qualified purchases. There's no better offer out there, so take advantage. To learn more about how to safeguard your savings from the dollar's decline, go to dineshgold.com. Very simple, easy to remember, dineshgold.com.